I'm gonna call to order the regular council meeting of Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. It was moved by Councillor Gadry, seconded by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of January 13th, 2026 be approved as printed. All those in favor? The Township of Blackburn-Maston acknowledges the Apatippi and Isinipek Nation traditional territory. We live, play, and work here together, and together we shall build a strong and inclusive community. A reminder to all in attendance that council meetings are recorded and made available to the public on the township website for review. Do we have any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? Seeing none, move on to minutes. Was moved by Councillor McCutcheon, seconded by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that the minutes of the following council meetings be approved as printed. December 9th, 2025 regular, December 16th, 2025 special, January 8th, 2026 special. All those in favor? It's moved by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Gadry. Be it resolved that the council hereby receives the minutes of the following committee meetings as presented. Senior Advisory Committee, December 8th, 2025. All those in favor? It was moved by Councillor Bouchard, second by Councillor McCutcheon. Be it resolved that the consent agenda item listed on the January 13th, 2026 regular council agenda be received by council, and that the recommendations and motions contained therein be supported as presented. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carries. Brings us on to new business 8A. You want me to read the resolution first, or?
Yeah.
Okay, moving. Was moved by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Gadry. Be it resolved that council for the Township of Blackburn-Maston hereby adopts the 2026 operating budget and 2026 capital budget as presented. So before we open to the floor, just going to mention that tonight we're bringing forward the 2026 municipal budget for council's adoption. This is a council budget developed with staff and focused on responsible planning, service stability, and long-term sustainability. Some key highlights of this budget include long-term infrastructure planning through the Aqua Master Plan, providing a clear roadmap for sewer upgrades and future growth, continued progress on the Community Improvement Plan, supporting revitalization and local investment, healthcare investments, including doctor recruitment and physician attraction, $25,000 per year, a major public safety investment with funding toward a new fire truck for the fire department, operational efficiencies, including less reliance on contracted services and more work done in-house, resulting in cost savings, a full summer student complement for office, recreation, and public works, expanded community services, including increased arena usage, outdoor rinks, community events, and supports that strengthen community well-being and mental health. And since our last meeting, several refinements have been made. An additional $83,000 has been added to reserves. Savings realized on a drainage project. $5,000 has been allocated to each community hall with insurance costs also covered. And $25,000 allocated to Bingham Memorial Hospital for renovations. The bottom line is a 3.01% increase in the tax levy, reflecting a balanced approach to maintaining services, investing in priorities, and protecting the township's financial position. Council, we will now consider the budget for adoption, and we welcome input and thank the residents for their engagement. So, having said that, I'm going to open the floor to council for questions and comments on our agenda this evening. Right. Councillor Morris.
I heard you mention, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Missed you. I heard you mention that the insurance for the halls would be paid for
Yes.
going forward.
Yes.
Was that in the budget? I didn't see that.
it was asked for. It was made, a presentation by the local halls was made.
Mhm.
And since we have been able to find 83,000 since last Thursday.
Mhm.
We're putting in there as an offering, that along with the $5,000 to each community hall.
Okay, but that's wasn't in the budget anymore, that we
Yeah,
we
no.
could see.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, the insurance was, it's the additional 5,000 that's been added, correct, so?
Yes,
Council Marsh,
Is that the entire, sorry, excuse me, thank you, Mr. Mayor, is that the entire amount of the insurance, or is that just is that the liability and, or just the all insurance?
it's just the hall insurance, that's all the municipality holds is the hall insurance.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
any other questions from council? Council Marsh,
I just have one question, thank you, Your Honor. I have one question about, the wages. I was quite shocked that it's over $2.6 million out of our budget that we pay to our municipal employees and wages, which it represents 37% of our budget, which is a hefty amount. Well earned though, I have to say. I just have a question about the CAO's wages with the Director of Public Services. There's 2 wages in there. Is that a portion of each in each budget, or how does that work?
Ms. Larson,
The CAO's wages are in administration,
Mhm.
the director of works is in public works. It's not a portion of the CAO's wages split,
Okay, because its job is split.
but all his wage is in administration.
Okay,
All the director of works is in public works.
thank you.
You're welcome. I could expand just a little bit too, if you.
Don,
No,
That's good, okay. any other questions from council? If not, I will open the floor. Oh, Councillor Bouchard.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to highlight for the new fire truck. The payment amount's been amortized over 15 years, so just as everybody knows, be aware of that. Because if you want to pay it off sooner, then it'll be more per month, per year. So right now we stand at around 58,000, I think was interest.
Pull up my spreadsheet,
So the reason I bring that up is just because if next year we have to buy a new grader or something like that, then we'll have to have another loan for 400 some thousand, so it just keeps adding on, so it's something that we should consider. You know, in the next few years, maybe pay a little bit more on it too.
Yep,
Not have-
Absolutely. And also in the meantime, staff is continuously looking for grants and programs to help us with these new projects. So if something comes up, then it's a windfall for us. Good.
you did well. Can I just speak on that?
Yes, Ms. Larson.
When I applied for the loan for the fire truck, it has to come to council. So even at that, it'll be presented, so you'll have all the details regarding the loan.
I just want to make sure everybody's aware that how that works, that so we don't get surprises next year and say, well, it's gonna be actually.
And I will, Councillor Allen.
I just wanted to comment on staff and their hard work put into the budget. And I just wanted to say how much that I think we all appreciate the fact that at the beginning of January, we were able to see a draft budget. Make what I would say is minor variances and changes to it. And I really appreciate all the hard work put in to make this possible at this time. So I just wanted to let that be known, because I know it's not an easy task, and especially for someone jumping right into it. And I'm sure, Sonia, it was very difficult. And being your first budget that you presented, I'm very, very happy with it and happy to see that everyone participated equally also.
Thank you. You're trying to get her to go on another vacation, what you're trying to do.
You know it. Just losing our tan.
Okay, I'm gonna open the floor to public if there's any questions from our gallery tonight.
Well, just that's one, having been here at the last meeting, through your mayor, were there any other additions to the budget that weren't discussed in the first initial presentation?
No, no, the only thing that we did was we were able to realize some savings. So with that, we could mention that with that $83,000, that's going to reserves. So although we still had a reserve amount from previously, it's gonna increase by $83,000 and still hold at 3.01%.
272, I think, is what's going into reserves where we had found about 189, and so. That's bonus.
Councillor Marsh?
I just wanted to add that, again, to echo Sal and that Councillor Allen, that you all did an amazing job. I personally would have preferred a line by line budget, but I realized time is of the essence, I guess, that we wanted to get it out as quickly as possible. My preference, I guess, would have been line by line, but this did work out okay, so thank you.
Thank you. So what do you need from council other than an all in favor? Do we need to confirm water or water sewer, correct?
That's still.
Okay. So, Randy, you want, we doing this in two sections or one?
All in the same section, we'll just have a second resolution afterwards.
Okay, so we can move on to water sewer then? So we were deciding between 5.5, I believe it was. So we had last spoke that we were looking at sewer at 5.5 and water at 6. And we also received a 7 and an 8 chart. So I'll Councillor Allen lead off the discussion.
So looking over the numbers that Sonia had sent us, I believe that with sewer, we should just go to 6%. I think 0.5% between 5.5 and 6. Not that big of a difference, but if we go to 6%, then we're reducing the amount that we take from reserves. One of the things that we're trying to do right now is build up our reserves so that we're kind of prepared for anything to happen with our water and sewer, right? So putting that little bit of extra in there would help with that. And then when it comes to water, I was doing some just the short math or whatever. So currently we're at around $94.50 quarterly. And with a 6% increase, we would go up to 126, but we're still taking $191,000 out of reserves, which is quite a bit of money considering we're putting in, like, to our other reserves, 272. When you look at that, that's quite a bit of money that we're taking out. So if we look at the 7%, it comes to about $147 quarterly, which is a jump, but we're also seeing a lot of improvement in our water systems lately, with Aqua taking over and things like that. Their trial runs for the manganese pilot program in Wooltire and just taking care of all the different buildings and everything like that. They seem to be doing a pretty good job at that and keeping our water in pretty decent condition. So if we keep lowering the percentage or keep it low, we're just going to continue to fall into problems of taking more money out of reserves going forward, or a giant hike at some point where we lose a lot of our people's respect because we're jumping it way too high at one time. So I was thinking we could go up to the 7%, Like I said, there is a bit of a difference between one and another, but with the water systems being increased and everything like that, I think it will be more accepted by the public. 8% seems a little bit too high from what the numbers are. It's about 168 quarterly. As much as I'd like to keep that number lower, seeing everything kind of move in a direction where we're doing better. I think that keeping it at a higher number so that the amount we're taking out of reserves is only 185. That's a lot nicer number than almost 200,000. So it might not be a whole lot of a difference, but it's just enough that we got to keep making improvements over the years so that we can get to a point where we're not taking over 100,000 from reserves for water. And I think eventually we have to get there. So it's going to be a hard pill to swallow no matter what, but it's either we increase slowly over time or at some point the ball is going to drop and someone's going to get a 40% increase and they're really not going to be happy. So we might as well start now and push forward with it. And that way we lose less of our reserve money for that.
Okay. Okay, so you're at 6 and 7.
I'm at 7.
Yeah, 6 waters, 7 sewer.
Yes. Or
Sorry,
6
6
sewer,
sewers,
7
water.
water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other councillors want to chime in with their thoughts? Councillor Bouchard.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I mean, right now, the bill would stand 185,000 from reserves, but that's if Aqua uses actually all that money. So if there's any chance for them to save, you know, $15,000-$20,000, well, that's $15,000-$20,000 less.
Yeah.
That we use, so. I mean, it is a budget, it's not the actual numbers, so hopefully we can find ways to save a bit of money and move forward. But I agree with the 7% plus.
Okay. Councillor McCutcheon.
I agree with the overtime increases. 7's not too bad. I wouldn't go any higher than 7 for water, and 6 makes sense for the garbage. I would go with the 7 and the 7.
Okay. Councillor Gadry.
Well, I was thinking 6 and 6, but really 7 isn't that big a jump. So, and also, I think once we get caught up with all the work we need to get done, that it's gonna start coming down, it won't be this high all the time.
Mhm.
So. I think 7's reasonable.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Morris.
I was leaning towards 5.5 for the sewer. Because it would only take 3,400 from reserves. And I just think people are struggling right now, and I think every cent in their budget counts. I'm not comfortable with going with 7% increase, although it's only a difference of $2 per billing, so that might be okay. But I just think every cent we could save our residents would be, I mean, I know we are trying to improve our water and sewer system. But we have to remember that we have residents, a lot of seniors that are on budgets that every penny counts. So I was thinking 5.5 for the sewer, and for the water, maybe 6.5.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Hampson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm okay with going with the 6 and the 7. Obviously what Bree said is right. Over time, we want to decrease the amount we're taking out of reserves, so starting 1% higher isn't gonna hurt now.
Okay. Perfect. So we have consensus. How do you want to do the motion? Motion, that's how we do it.
Yeah. Second.
Yep. Be it resolved that council for the township of Blackbird, Masson hereby adopts the following 2026 user fee rate increases. Water, 6%, sewer, 7%, garbage, $30. So if I could have a mover and a second around that motion, please. Moved by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Bouchard. All those in favor?
Wait, we got the leader.
Nope.
Yeah, water,
Yeah, we're at 7, sewer at 6. Redo.
One job wrong.
We'll read it again. Were you panicking over there? It was be resolved that council for the township of Blackford, Masson hereby adopts the following 2026 user fee rate increases. Water, 7%, sewer, 6%, garbage, $30. Same move in a seconder. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, everybody. Do I have to finish this one?
Yeah, you still need that.
Okay.
That one hasn't been carried yet.
So it was moved by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Gattery, be it resolved that the council for the township of Blackbird, Masson hereby adopts the 2026 operating budget and the 2026 capital budget as presented. We just did. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, everybody. Moved by Councillor Gattery, seconded by Councillor Morris. Be it resolved that council direct staff to arrange a training session with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing to provide information and guidance to council on municipal governance matters, including roles and responsibilities, accountability, and related legislative frameworks. Could open up for questions. If anybody has any questions on the available training. Councillor Morris?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did read the video from the Municipal Affairs and Housing, and I didn't find it as comprehensive as the one that was provided by Fred Dean.
Mhm.
Is it possible we could get a better training session?
There's a huge cost to the Fred Dean one.
Okay.
So this is provided by the government free of charge.
Okay.
So Mr. Lee has created a 3 or 4 point training session just to cover these particular items. So rather than being very broad and based over 2 hours, we're going to be very specific. So this is hopefully it's a start, and then as we need more, we can always arrange for more.
Okay.
I would assume I shouldn't assume, but next council could arrange to pay for the Dean and the Fred Dean and his partner training as well.
Nigel.
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible, Hunty, that we could get a copy of the framework that you're going to be setting up for the training?
Through the mayor? Yes, as soon as Brandon we set up the training and sends it over, I'll send it preemptively to the council.
Councillor Bouchard?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. What's the time frame we're looking at before the elections? This gonna be done or after the elections?
We're looking sometime this month.
This month?
This month.
Right, okay.
So we'll probably do
Special meeting.
a doodle poll or what do we call that, just to get our times arranged.
It'd be about an hour and a half, Brandon said.
Councillor Allen?
From our previous training, were there not workbooks and slideshows and like a paper form that he had given us? I'm sure I have it somewhere, from the Fred Dean one anyways. That maybe we could forward on to Miss Morrish, that we were able to be a part of, so that she can also read through it, and maybe there's some points in there that would be also helpful.
Okay.
Yes. Did we also not record that, or
I believe we recorded that as well.
Councillor Morris?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I watched it, but unfortunately you can't ask questions to a video.
No. Completely understand. I just thought it would be a good place to write out some questions based on that, and then when we get to this kind of training. If there's specific questions that you have that relate to certain things, it would just help kind of guide you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Any other questions on the training? Call for vote. All those in favor? Was moved by Councillor Bouchard, second by Councillor McCutcheon, be it resolved that council receive report CLK 2026-001 cleaning services RFP update as information. Questions or comments on this RFP? Councillor Bouchard.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. The main concern is, with some of the costs per hour being put on some of these companies, do we for sure have a certificate of insurance? Police checks, WSIB coverage on these people for that kind of rate? I don't know how they can even afford to pay the insurance.
Mr. Lee.
Through the mayor to council. When we put out the RFP, we were trying to do a cost saving measure. The original contract had to be updated in a few years, so we were thinking maybe we get better rates. The successful proponent is actually the same company we're using now. They've already been vetted. As part of the RFP process, you can't submit it without meeting certain requirements, and they wouldn't have been hired or we wouldn't have changed if they didn't pass all those checks.
So you do have a copy of the certificate for WSIB and all,
For the current employees who are already
Yeah.
working here.
but like an updated one for 2026. It's just concerned, we worked with a contractor before in my operation. And found out after the work was done that they had no insurance coverage or no WSIB. They claimed they did, but they couldn't produce a certificate, so for that rate at that. I don't know how they can afford to even pay it on WSIB. I would just as a precaution to the municipality, we should ask for an updated certificate.
For sure, we can do that. They also contract to other companies too, so like we're not the only building or
Yeah.
the service.
But just as a precaution.
Councillor Allen.
I know those two companies in particular, that are on there. The North Star and the Reliable Cleaning worked at lots of the mines. I've seen them there lots, so in order to get in there, you have to have your WSIB and insurance and everything. So they're actually a lot bigger companies than maybe we know about, it's just they service a different industry.
Any other questions or comments on that report? Call for a vote. All those in favor? Moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Morris, be it resolved that council approve the establishment of the Museum Artifacts Advisory Committee in accordance with the terms of reference as attached, and that council direct staff to advertise for public members and bring back applicants for formal appointment. I will open that up for questions and comments from the council. Nope. Councillor Allen.
I'd just like to say I am very happy to see that the museum artifacts are going to be taken care of and that this is something that I think is a great idea. I know not very much about museum artifacts and things, but I really hope to see that this is successful and that we're able to either get some of these artifacts back to their original owners or have them stored properly and taken care of so that should we be able to open the museum at any point in time, they are able to be used without having any damage or anything, so. Very happy to see that this came up in the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lee.
Through the mayor of the council, I found my own clerical error before someone else did. In the terms of reference, the committee should be composed of 4 (5) members of the public and 1 member of council. I highlighted it because I want council to determine how big the community wanted. So how many public members and how many members of council would you like? Most of our standards are 4 public members and 1 council member.
I think it's a good start.
If you get more members of the public, then.
It's four
Like,
members
if-
total.
yeah, I know, if you guys already see you have like 5 members have applied for it,
Mhm.
then why not leave it at 5 or?
Or if we put in the wording a minimum of 4,
Yeah.
then the 5 still qualifies. Because we've stymied ourselves before where we've asked for 4 and we only get 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
Agree? Do we have to, the council member tonight?
No, we'll do it during the appointment process,
Okay,
but because we're changing it, we'll need a resolution to amend it.
4 to 5?
Did you want set 4 or did you want set 5 or minimum?
Minimum four,
minimum 5K.
minimum four.
Don't worry, I'll be the birdie in your ear.
I'll clean it up.
Be it resolved that the terms of reference be amended to minimum 4 members of the public. If I could get a move and a second on that, please. Move by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Gadry. All in favor? And back to the original resolution. It was moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Moore. Be it resolved that council approve the establishment of the Museum Artifacts Advisory Committee in accordance with terms of reference as attached. As amended. And that council directs staff to advertise for public members and bring back applicants for formal appointment. All those in favor? Carried. Be moved by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that council appoint the following individuals to the Community Safety and Wellbeing Advisory Committee in accordance with the committee's terms of reference. Staff Sergeant Ron Belfoy, representing the Ontario Provincial Police South Porcupine Attachment. Al McLean, representing the Education Sector School Board. Jean Carrier, representing the Cochrane District Social Service Administration Board. Jeanette Lougheed, representing the Northeastern Public Health Unit. Bobby Lynn Wilcox, representing Mix. And someone from this table representing the municipality. And that council acknowledge that representation from the Apatippi and Isinifek Nation is pending and may be added to the committee at a later date upon confirmation. So our first goal here is to pick that lucky individual from this table to be on the community and safety well-being. Are you suggesting you? Okay, perfect. Any other comments or nominations? Comment?
I suggest Councillor.
Oh. Okay, so we have Mr. Bouchard on deck. Any other questions, comments? Councilor
I
McCutcheon?
think Mr. Bouchard should be doing it.
Okay, perfect. I don't have to read the whole resolution again, so thank you and congratulations, Councilor Bouchard. Call for a vote. All those in favor? Okay. Moved by Councilor McCutcheon, second by Councilor Camp. So be it resolved that council authorize staff to register the following members of council staff to attend the 2026 Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities Conference, and that any associated costs be paid in accordance with the township's approved budget and applicable policies. We're looking for 2 names on this resolution. Councilor Allen.
Well, I thought I might suggest the mayor, Michelle Shakir, go, as they're a great representative of our township. And do wonderfully in such situations as these types.
Thank you for your confidence in us. I'll open the table to any other Councilor Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I second what you said.
Yes.
Okay, I guess we're going Timmins.
Yeah, it's intended to.
Yeah. So you can go all day and come back and work at night.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Any other questions, comments from council? Sounds good. So the 2 names will be the mayor and the CAO. Call for a vote. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councilor Allen, second by Councilor Bouchard. Whereas the Ontario Municipal Employees Retirement Systems OMERS Pension Fund serves over 1,000 employers, and over 500,000 employees and retirees from diverse groups, including municipal governments, school boards, libraries, police and fire departments, children's aid societies, and electricity distribution companies. And whereas the long-standing jointly sponsored governance model with two corporate boards has provided stability, accountability, and fairness for both plan members and employers for more than 2 decades. And whereas the government of Ontario has passed legislative changes to OMER's governance structure through Bill 68. And whereas these changes would replace the current OMERS sponsored corporation with a new sponsors council that would lose its corporate status and independent resources. And whereas the proposed model could allow pension decisions affecting municipal employers and employees to be made without meaningful municipal oversight, increasing financial risk for municipalities and local taxpayers. And whereas municipalities are already under significant fiscal strain and cannot absorb additional pension costs without consequences for property taxes or local services, therefore be it resolved that the Township of Blackburn Masson does not support the legislative changes to OMERS Act contained in Bill 68 and request that the Government of Ontario consider the advisability of proceeding with these changes. Further be it resolved that the Township of Blackburn Masson Council supports the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMO, in calling the Government of Ontario to 1. Ensure sponsors retain full control without restrictions over their appointments to the new Sponsors Council and Administrations Corporation. 2. Guarantee the Sponsors Council independence from the plan administrator and access to resources needed to perform its duties. And 3. Limit the minister's regulation-making authority over plan design and the Sponsors Council's internal affairs. Be it further resolved that this resolution be circulated to the Honorable Rob Flack, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Honorable Peter Bethlehem, Minister of Finance, local MPs, and the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. We're only reading that one once. I'm going to open up for questions or comments. Councillor Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For us not to send this letter and agree to support the other several communities that we agreed in our consent agenda, I think we kind of contradict each other. So I think we should go ahead and send this letter. I mean, the OMERS package protects all of everybody that's part of OMERS, right? All the government employees, so.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? I will call for a vote then. All those in favor? Brings us on to confirmatory bylaw. Moved by Councillor Gattery, seconded by Councillor McCutcheon. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2026-01 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Township of Blackburn Masson be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed its 13th date of January 2026. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Campbell, second by Councillor Bouchard, be it resolved that bylaw number 2026-02 being a bylaw to authorize the borrowing of certain sums in 2026 be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed its 13th date of January 2026. Any questions or comments from council? Councillor Bouchard.
And thanks, Mr. Mayor. That's just a thing that you do every year to allow.
It's a housekeeping item.
Thanks.
Six, you can find.
Call for a vote. All those in favor? Carried. Another housekeeping item was moved by Councillor Campbell, second by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2026-03 being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy in 2026 be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed its 13th day of January 2026. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Gattery. Be it resolved that council now proceeds into a portion of the meeting that shall be closed to the public at 7:10 PM in accordance with section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 to discuss the following matters as per subsection 239(2)(c). The sale or disposition of municipal properties, specifically 352 and 354 Ferguson Avenue, easement abutting 331 and 339 4th Avenue, and 367 4th Avenue. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you.